Who said you can't make friends with salad? Welcome back everyone. Yes, today we're making salad, but I promise you one of the most delicious. We're traveling to Rhône-Alpes, city of Lyon, known to have had so many amazing chefs that hold many Michelin stars. We're making a salade lyonnaise. They were not original in the name, but trust me, this dish gonna knock it out of the park, so I cannot blame them. Two things remain to be done. For us to get cooking, and for you to subscribe. Let's go. Alright, so the first key step of this recipe is obviously the salad. And I'm using some frisée salad. It's a really nice, bitter and hearty lettuce, which is great for this salad because we kind of like wilting it, so we need for it to have some body. Now that being said, you can find it everywhere, so I would suggest to maybe use something like radicchio if you don't. And you could even use arugula, but you might not wilt it and will maybe, change the recipe. When it comes to frisée, if we were to work at a really fancy restaurant, we will only use the little yellow tips, but you know what? I don't like wasting, so we're going to take it all. And then once we cut it out of the root, we're going to give it a good wash to remove any dirt. Then we'll place it in a salad spinner, give it a good spin and make sure there's absolutely no water remaining. And then we're gonna set it aside for the later part of the recipe because now we can start working on the garnishes. Starting with the second most important of this dish, which is the double smoked bacon. I highly encourage you to get some double smoke and something, ask your butcher for like a thicker piece so we can actually cut it to the size we want. And first I'm going to detail a little bit of the fat. This is where flavors are, and I'm going to use that to make my croutons. I'm going to cut another piece, and then from here we're going to detail some lardons. So we're going to make first some strip, and then we're going to cut it after into more like lengthy little batons, which I'll cut in half again. You could also do dices. There's not really like a right or wrong, as long as you make sure it's a high quality piece of meat. Next, we're going to take the bread, and I'm using a rye bread. You could use a sourdough, you could use any type of bread you have at home, whatever you prefer. I like rye bread for its flavor and also the crunch. I will make some little batons first, then I will turn it into croutons, and then I'm going to put that aside, and we're going to cook them later in the fat. Next, we're going to work on the shallot. Okay, so you've seen me dicing shallots so many times on this channel. So we're going to cut it in half, we're going to peel it, and then we're going to first dice it into a nice julienne, then into some nice dices. When we're happy with the dices, we're going to put them away, and then we're going to work on the next step of the recipe, which is going to start making our croutons. So as I mentioned before, for the croutons, we're going to cook them in the fat from the double smoked bacon. So in a pan, I'm going to start rendering that fat, and then I'm going to add my croutons. We're going to cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes or until crispy. Don't forget to season them, that will help make them crunchy. And then when we have a nice crunch all across, like these beautiful croutons, we can put them aside on some azobic pepper to remove all the fat. Next, we're gonna work on our lardons. In a cast iron pan or a heavy bottom pan, we're gonna add some oil, and we're gonna place our little lardons, or dice if you made dices, and we're gonna let them cook for about 8 minutes or until they completely render nice and crispy. I will then scoop them out of the frying pan to rest, and I'm making sure I'm keeping that oil. I'm gonna let that pan rest for a little bit, and in the meantime, we're gonna work on a poached egg. If you want to see how to make a poached eggs, I'm referencing a video I made before on how to cook eggs many ways. So if you want to make a perfect poached egg like that, check this out. Now that we've worked on everything, we can start assembling the salad. Going back into the cast iron, I'm gonna add my shallots cooking in the fat for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then we'll add both our mustard. We're gonna make sure this is emulsifying. Then I'm gonna add a bit of lemon zest. I wouldn't say it's in the recipe, but like something I like to add for a little bit of a fresh flavor. You don't have to do that step, but I encourage it. Then next, I'm going to add some lemon juice for a bit of acidity, and it's going to emulsify that dressing. We're creating pretty much a dressing like a hot dressing rather than cold. Finally, I'm going to add some sherry dressing that I've made earlier. You could also just use sherry vinegar, it works as well. but I like this dressing that I've made. It's very sharp and beautiful and will go well with the salad. I will then add my frisée, and then my pan is off at this point. There's just some residual heat and it's going to wilt slightly. This is what I'm saying. If you use arugula, do not do that step. Go right into a cold dressing and mix it together. Then in a bowl, I'm gonna place my slightly wilted salad. I'm gonna add some croutons as well as my lardons. I'm gonna season it with a bit of salt and pepper and add some chives. I'm gonna toast that around quickly, and then we're gonna simply plate it in the center of the plate. Make sure we're building a nice and high salad for some height and some good looking greens. Then I will top it up with the beautiful poached eggs that we worked on earlier. And just like so, a little step, make sure you season your egg with salt and pepper, very important. And just like that, we have a delicious salad. And here we go, yet another simple but with so much character. That salad is so good. It's got texture, it's got body, it's got flavor, it's bold, it's acidic, it's got it all. Thanks to the beautiful city of Lyon. And I'm going to crush that very soon. That's a dish that I can enjoy any time of the day, any time of the year. So if you enjoyed this simple recipe, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next episode. And now let's dig in.